Good morning, children. Today we are going to continue from the previous part, that is from paragraph number 11. So, as per we had discussed in our previous class, we have come to know that King Arthur, he did have a son and nobody knew about that. And while he was born, he was given to Merlin, and then Merlin gave the baby to Sir Ector, and Sir Ector raised him up as his own son. Okay, and the dispute that was going on in the country, because everybody knew that this king, he did not have any son, and that's why everybody wanted to grab his throne after he had died. So for that, as this was the dispute which was raging in the country at that time, so on the advice of Merlin, what happened, the archbishop, that means the head of the church, what he did, he arranged a service, okay, in the church, and then they asked, that means they offered their prayers to God, and in return they asked for some blessings or some solutions, so that they'll be able to help themselves to find out the the next king who would sit on the throne, so that to continue the kingdom. Now then what happened, they got a stone, okay, and on which was a sword was stuck inside the stone, and it was also written on the sword that whoever will be able to pick out the sword from the stone, only he will be able to become the next king. So everybody tried to pick out the sword from the stone, but nobody was able to do so, because only that person could do. So they all were invited for some tournament. So the archbishop, he arranged some programs, some tournaments where everybody will be present, and so that many people will be involved there, and maybe from there the person will be would be present, or then they would get to they would be able to get to know that person. So now what happened in that tournament, this Sir Ector and Sir Kay, and along with that Arthur also, who was the actual son, he had also come over there. Now they were about to go to the tournament, but somehow Sir Kay had forgotten his sword, okay, in the castle where they had stayed the previous night. So what happened is, he told, or he ordered his brother, that is Arthur, that to get his sword from the castle where they had stayed the previous night. So while he went to the castle, he was not granted permission, okay, nobody had let him get in. So what he did, he thought of an idea. He thought that he saw a sword was stuck inside the stone in the churchyard. So he remembered about that churchyard's sword. So he thought that I'll go there and I'll pick it up from there and I'll give to my brother, so he will get the sword. It's just a matter of sword, doesn't matter if it is his sword or somebody else. So let's see. So he rode into the deserted churchyard where the stone with the sword stood unguarded. Now he went to the churchyard, deserted churchyard. Why is it so deserted? Because nobody was there to guard. There were people to guard, but at that moment it was deserted. It was empty. Nobody was there. Where the stone with the sword stood unguarded. Nobody was there to guard the stone. The guarding knights were away at the tournament. They had also participated at the tournament. Okay. Going up to the stone, young Arthur took the great glistening sword by the handle, and lightly and deftly he drew it out of the stone. And it is so easy for him that it was just like taking the thing out, and it was not even not a difficult even task for him. Where on the one hand, those other people, they were so much tired by trying again and again, but they were not able to. On the other hand, when Arthur tried, he very easily just picked out the sword from the stone. It was very easy for him. He rode back fast and delivered the sword to Sir Kay. Now, as it was ordered by his elder brother to get the sword for him, so he obeyed his brother. He brought the sword. But that was not Sir Kay's sword. That was the sword which was in the churchyard. But as soon as Sir Kay saw it, he knew well it was the sword from the stone. He rode swiftly to his father. But while Sir Kay looked at the sword, he understood very well that it is not his sword. It is that sword which was there in the churchyard. And then after that, he went to his father. Sir, cried Sir Kay. Now he started speaking, his voice trembling, his voice was shaking. Surely I and none other am chosen to be King of England, since in my hand I bear the sword of the stone. Mark this paragraph, this is important. Paragraph 13. He said to his father, he went to his father and he said that, Father, you can see, he called him sir, he called and said, see, I am the next king of the England. I should be the next king of England, because in my hand you can see there is the sword, and that special sword. On seeing the sword his son carried, Sir Kay turned to him and asked, tell me, did you pluck it from the stone? In fact, Sir Ector had also understood that this cannot happen. Okay, there was something fishy here which Sir Ector had understood, and that's why he asked his son, tell me the truth, did you pluck it from the stone? Sir Kay's face fell. Now, while the father asked the son this question, his face, he became very nervous. Okay, his face fell means it's just an expression of saying that he became nervous, or he understood that maybe his the lie which he had said, that is caught, he's caught. But he answered stoutly, but then also he kept calm, he kept confidence, and then he said, no, I did not pluck it from the stone. He told the truth. My brother Arthur, who went back to fetch what I had forgotten, brought me the sword. And he said, he spilled out the truth. He told the truth that no, I did not pluck it, but Arthur had plucked it, who had gone to fetch my sword, but he got it from there. Then Sir Ector turned to Arthur. Tell me, did you pluck the sword from the stone? Now he asked to Arthur. The boy confessed how, having found all the doors in the castle locked, he had hurried to the churchyard and plucked the sword from the stone that rested there. And Arthur told the truth. He told the incident, how he was ordered by his brother Sir Kay that to get the sword from the castle, but while he went there, he saw that the doors were locked. He was not given permission, and so what he did, he remembered. He got reminded about the sword in the churchyard, and so he came back to the churchyard and grabbed it from there, and he came back and gave it to Sir Kay. Then Sir Ector became thoughtful. Now he chinta mein pad gaya. Okay, now he thought, what is this thing? How can this happen? He made them turn about and ride back to the churchyard. Now he thought of an idea, and he said, you go back to the churchyard. Both of the brothers, that means the two brothers, okay, Sir Kay and Arthur, to the churchyard that lay some distance behind them. There, young Arthur replaced the sword in the stone. So what he had taken in his hand, okay, on his hand, he placed it back again. My son, draw out the sword, said Sir Ector to Sir Kay. First, Sir Ector instructed Sir Kay to bring out the sword from the stone. Okay, remember this thing. And Sir Kay tried once and twice, his muscles cracking and his face aflame. That means when something is very hard, you try, that expression which becomes on your face. When something is very hard to do, but you can't. Suppose when a bottle, the bottle of, what is that called? The cap of the bottle has locked very hard. You are trying to just open it, it has become very hard. So the expression which that becomes, so that was the situation with Sir Kay. but he couldn't withdraw the sword. But he was not able to take out the sword from the stone. However, when Arthur laid his hand upon the sword, it slid from the stone as a sunbeam across a wall. Now, have you seen the very first sunshine? Okay, the sun ray, the rays of the sun when it falls, the very first ray of light which falls, which strikes very lightly, so that's the path is very smooth. Yes, so that was the similar kind of situation was there with Arthur also. When he tried that, when Arthur laid his hand upon the sword, it slid from the stone as a sunbeam across a wall, and when he had replaced it, it stuck as fast as before. So what he did, he took it out also and even placed it back also. And in this whole pattern, everything was smooth. Very lightly it happened, everything, okay, with Arthur, but not with Sir Kay. Then Sir Ector said to the boy. Now he said to the boy. Who is the boy? Arthur. Now listen what he said. You are, mark this line, paragraph 21. This is also important. You were entrusted to me while yet a baby. Now he is telling the truth which happened in the past. Okay. While yet a baby, your responsibility was given to me, but your parentage was not made known to me. I was given your responsibility. I was just given a baby, but I was not told whose baby is this or who are the parents. Okay, that was not told to him. That was not told to Sir Ector. Now I begin to think that you are of a higher destiny than I thought. I had thought that maybe you are coming from such a family whose rank is quite higher, but I did not know that you belong to such a family. Let us travel to the Archbishop and tell him of these events. And he said that now as I have come to know, so now we will go to the Archbishop and we'll tell everything. That we will tell about the truth. What is the truth? Then they went to the Archbishop and told him that the sword had found its master. He told about that. The Archbishop appointed a day for the trial. The Archbishop understood. He understood, but maybe did not believe, because anybody can come for grabbing the power. So they went to the Archbishop and told him that the sword had found its master. The Archbishop appointed a day. He kept a day on that particular day for the trial to be made in the sight of all the people, so that the same thing which Arthur had done in front of Sir Ector and Sir Kay, that thing will be done again in front of all the village people, or maybe the this country, that means the area's people. Otherwise they won't believe. No, because till now the village people or the people of that area, they had just known this thing that only that person will be able to become the next king who will be able to pick out the sword from the stone, and because that was written on the sword with golden letters. On that day the princes and knights came together and each tried to draw out the sword as before. Again, the previous thing which had been done before, the other people who had tried to do that, so they tried once more on that another day. Before they had already done, then another day was appointed. On that day they did again, but as before none could so much as stir it. Everybody tried, but they could not even take it out from there. Then came Arthur and pulled it easily from its place. ये तो होना ही था. That was about to happen. Why not? Because he was the son. He was the real son. So it would happen exactly. The knights and princes were terribly angry. Now they had tried. They were not successful. Arthur tried. He did very nicely, very easily. It was very smooth for him, the process. Okay, the process was very smooth for him. But while these people they were imagining, they were dreaming that if we try, maybe we will be able to become the next king. Now, all things had destroyed because this boy had already proved in front of them by picking out the sword and again placing it back. Okay, so their dreams had been broken now. So they had become terribly angry that a mere boy, and from nowhere in particular, this boy, such a small boy, has come, don't even know from where he has come, and he will become the next king. How is this possible? Had beaten them. Beaten means not that beating. Okay, beaten them means hara dena, to make someone lose in something. And they refused to acknowledge him king. And they refused. They said that they are not ready to accept him as their king. They appointed another day for another trial. They said that maybe today it's not our luck, maybe we'll try another day, maybe it will happen. So they tried another day. 3 times they did this, and every time the same thing happened. Yes, of course it would happen, because anybody, whoever will try, it won't happen with them because they are not the sun. So this thing happened that they were unsuccessful, and every time this happened for 3 times. Okay, mark this thing. 3 times they did this, and every time the same thing happened. You might get a question on this. So it's from paragraph number 23. So 3 times they tried the same thing. Even Arthur also did the same thing. They were unsuccessful every 3 times, but all the 3 times Arthur was successful, and he proved it every time. At last, at the Feast of Pentecost. Now, what is the Feast of Pentecost? It is the 7th Sunday after Easter, observed as a church festival. Okay, so you need this also. So you will mark this word meaning also. That's needed. So at last, after the Feast of Pentecost, Arthur again pulled out the sword before all the knights and the common people. Again, one more time, the activity was performed, and again he proved the same thing. Then the people rose, crying with one voice, Arthur shall be our king. Has not the sword and therefore the voice of God revealed him to us? We offered our prayers. God has listened to our prayers, and he had given us a solution that with the help of that stone and sword and that golden letters written on the sword, that whoever will be able to pull out the sword from the stone, he will become the next king. So the sword as well as God has revealed him to us. So they knelt before him, offering their loyalty. Loyalty means now as they had accepted Arthur as their king, so they bowed their heads, and then all of them, they knelt before him to show their respect and love, and also a form of apology, because they had not accepted him in the beginning. And so Arthur became king of England, and all gave him allegiance. Allegiance means support. That means they accepted now that yes, Arthur is our king now. So this is all about the story Arthur and the Sword. I hope you have liked this story. This is a great one, a great interesting one. Okay, now let's come to page number 59, and you mark the word meanings. From page number 59, a hair's breadth, no need. Other 3 you will mark. Apparently, dispute, raging. These 3 are needed. The remaining one is not needed. Then 12th day. Yeah, here also first 3, last one but a boy, not needed. Then from page 61, first 2, deftly, stoutly, and you can take confessed, but here you don't need to write so many things. You can just write to speak the truth. Yeah, that's enough. To speak the truth. Okay, no need to write so much. From page number 61 you mark all, and for confessed you write only to speak the truth. That's enough. Then for page number 62, from nowhere in particular, no need. Okay, and from page 63, all. Only from page number 62, this from nowhere in particular, no need. Otherwise, everything is needed. And then what's left? I'll be giving the question answers. But before that, okay, the remaining part we'll see. What else to do, we'll see in our next class. But first, you go through this chapter once again, and the questions which will be coming after you have watched the video, you get ready for that. So for that, you just read the chapter once again. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.